Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our daily briefing from Cannes, which we are conducting in partnership with our friends at Ketchum. We're going to do a quick daily recap, day one proper of the event. And my guest today, Joanne Robertson, was incredibly busy.
I was, yeah.
Joanna was the chair of the PR jury last year. And this year, as a reward, punishment,
Both, I think.
she was put on the Young Lions jury. So tell me a little bit about the Young Lions. I know you haven't seen the work yet.
No, it's exciting.
It's so important.
Well, I think when they asked me to chair the Young Lions jury, I was excited to do it, not least because I hope it'll shake off a bit of the cynicism that you kind of, embrace as you get older in this industry. But it's an amazing competition because each of these, it's pairs of creatives from all across the world. They've won their competition in their own market. They're getting to soak up all the creativity and insight that they're seeing across the festival. And then today they will get a brief from a client. They've got 24 hours to come up with their campaign and then submit the work. And then on Thursday, they get to pitch live to me and the rest of the jury. So I think it'll be a great experience.
Okay, you may be too young to know this, but that sounds an awful lot like they stole the process from Camp Ketchum, which is a
Yes.
thing I used to go to back in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
where Ketchum
Legendary at Ketchum.
Exactly the same thing for teams of young people. It's a great process.
It's brilliant.
And I mean, my experience has been that the results are incredible. I mean, really talented young people in our business.
And look, it's it's so hard. I was talking yesterday on a panel about in fact, it was just a session, me and one of the Cannes award leaders about how to craft a winning entry. And I said over and over again, it's about simplicity. It's about, really telling us what you did. Like, you don't have to have all the fluff around it. And then what was the impact? And there was a few young lions in the audience who came up to me at the end and were like, I now know how to approach my presentation on Thursday. Not least, they've only got 5 minutes to present. Right. That's hard.
Yeah, of course. Don't tell clients that you can turn it around in 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Nightmare. I know that you were at a couple of events yesterday that I wanted to talk about. The first one, I think, was your clients from MasterCard and Philips were talking about AI, as indeed is almost everybody.
Every panel, every session.
What were the big takeaways from that session for you?
Look, I think as I've listened to a lot of sessions across the festival yesterday on AI, I would say that the big takeaways are: don't be afraid of it. There's still a lot of fear about what AI, and particularly generative AI, is going to do to jobs and to the industry and to the quality of the work. So number one takeaway is don't be afraid of it. AI is just another tool in the toolbox. So it's just another way in which, if we do it right, we can elevate the impact of the work. And I'd also say it's about the more that we democratize AI, particularly, again, generative AI, and the more that people really use it every day. There was a very funny analogy that I saw between a strategist and a creative on a panel, where the strategist said, when I work with my creative partner, if I keep saying to them, I don't like it, it's not good enough, try again, quite quickly they'll tell me, I won't use my Glaswegian swear words, but they will say, no thank you, and just walk out the door. Whereas the beauty of generative AI is it just keeps learning, and it will just keep coming back. And so I loved that. And then I think the other thing that I think is really important about generative AI is how we're using it at this point. And I think at the minute, I've heard a number of examples, and we're starting to do this at Ketchum, where you kind of use generative AI to see all the things you're not going to do. So you say, I want to do an amazing creative campaign for X, and it spouts out 10 different ideas, and you say, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm now going to use the power of the human brain and insight and emotion to do something really special. So it's a fascinating discussion across the festival. But I think if we can take the fear away from AI, we can make better progress.
One of the conversations that I've been having with people, both in general and here, is about the need to make sure that AI doesn't just reinforce some of the pre-existing biases that still, I think,
We're already
come into
seeing
our
that.
work. Yeah. And I know you were also talking yesterday about DEI,
Yeah.
and inclusion in particular. And I love the quote from Frank Starling, the head of DEI for Cannes, who I didn't know was a thing until I didn't know they
he's
had
an
a head of
amazing
DEI,
guy.
but it's so good that they do.
Yeah.
Saying, don't talk about us without us. And we were saying earlier that we've both been to panels that were sort of for white guys talking about the importance of DEI.
It's still happening at this festival, unfortunately.
Yeah. But tell me a little bit about your session. And
it was such a great session, and Frank Starling was amazing. So anyone who doesn't know him should get to know Frank. Again, look, it's one of my probably my only fear about AI, if I'm honest, is that we're going to just recreate what has been hundreds, if not thousands of years of systemic bias that was built in institutions and culture and, systems. Right. We're just going to recreate that in 1 year in AI. I mean, the perfect example is if you put into generative AI, show me a CEO, it's a white middle-aged man that it gives you back. Like, that's just not cool. And so it's the same answers in the real world as it is as we look at generative AI. You have to have the right people around the table. If it's predominantly white middle-aged men or white young men who are inputting and teaching AI, we're going to get those same systemic barriers, those same biases, those same stereotypes that we have in our society. So everyone needs to think about who is sitting around the table, who is doing the algorithms, who is prompting, who is teaching, who is learning, and make that as diverse as we possibly can. But it's also about, I think the wonderful thing about AI is that we can teach it. And it's really important that we do. And I think humans can sometimes be too literal. So if we ask AI a question and it spouts it back at us, we just take it as that's the answer. But actually, if you just keep prompting it to be a bit more weird, a bit different, to be a bit more imaginative, that's how we teach it. So it's really important that we apply the same things we're trying to do in society to AI. And we can get there faster with AI because of the speed at which it's moving.
One of the things I learned when I was doing my agency meetings earlier this year is that prompt writing is a skill in and of itself. Yes. And we're going to need people who really know how to write great prompts.
Well, one of my colleagues from Analect, who was on one of the other panels at Omnicom Cove yesterday about AI, I thought her insight was so right, where we've been really taught to be as specific as possible when we do Google searches. So search has become something where you have to be really clinical. Whereas prompts in generative AI need to be more flowery, more imaginative, and a bit different. And so it's a different skill that we've been kind of all focused on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that evolves.
Now, people like you and I, of course, come here primarily for the intellectual stimulation and the big ideas and all of those conversations. But I understand that there are people who come here primarily to win prizes.
To win a big award.
Give out awards. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Golan yesterday took home a Grand Prix.
A Grand Prix in audio, yeah, amazing. Look, I think it's a brilliant piece of work. The work that they did with Specsavers, it's also a really funny piece of work with Rick Astley. So if anyone's not seen it, you should go and have a look at it. But absolutely thrilled for Golan that they won a Grand Prix last night. And actually, they're shortlisted in the PR Lions, so fingers crossed we might have our first ever PR agency winning a Grand Prix.
Well, and it showcases just how broad this discipline has become.
Totally.
Right? I mean, I don't know when PR started to come to Cannes about 10 years ago. We were all desperately focused on winning a PR Lion, which was a bright, shiny new thing. And the fact that we're now taking home a Grand Prix in audio,
it's brilliant.
It just isn't where you think our sweet spot would be.
Exactly.
It's terrific.
It's brilliant. And also you look, Weber, Edelman, Ketchum, we're all shortlisted across different categories in entertainment and craft, So I think it is really testament to the way in which, particularly our big global network agencies, are evolving, and the way that we are partnering with clients to really think about the work in a different way. Because I think we've taken the best of what our ad brothers and sisters do, but applied it in what I consider to be a much more sophisticated earned world. And you know, look, I was doing this on this session yesterday, how to win at Cannes, how to craft a winning entry. It is a craft to win at Cannes. You know, it's not just about the work.
Right.
It's about how you also package the
very
work,
clearly,
right?
Very
And
clearly.
I think, again, you know,
For better or worse.
Yep, exactly. But the big network agencies are really understanding that now, and to see Golan win a Grand Prix in audio is really. I think everybody in the industry should feel proud at that, and huge congratulations to them, particularly when it's out of the UK market. That makes me even more proud.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Joanne. We will be back on a daily basis with other Ketchum executives to talk about the day before. And I hope you'll join us throughout the week to get a little flavor of Cannes. Thank you very much.